Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to a very special episode of In the Red Corner. Tonight we've dusted off the microphones to discuss the European Super League, what it means to us, and I think more importantly what it means to football as a whole. Joining me, as always, to get into this pretty important topic and one that means a lot to both of us is Mr. Grant Winstanley. How are you, sir?
Good, mate. Been a weird 48 hours, I reckon.
Yeah, it has.
Very strange. You know, those that don't know, basically 12 of the elite, in brackets, of England, of Spain, of Italy in the football world or the soccer world, want to break away, create their own European Super League, basically to guarantee money, to play each other, you know, every week and keep a steady income, and basically, you know, don't disregard competition, disregard sport, and basically, screw over every other team that's not them, basically.
And that's the thing I think the thing to really focus on here is not just the effect that it has on our teams and the way that we want to consume our football, the way we want to consume our club, our history, our traditions, but it's even more importantly, I think it's a knock-on effect that it has on the game as a whole, the game of football, the Premier League as a whole, the effect that has on the teams around it, when effectively, you know, more than 50% of your games in your season might become absolutely just null and void, pointless, because there isn't the emphasis to play on. I think if we take it right back, for me, it has been a weird 48 hours. Yeah. We're on a different time zone here in Melbourne. So it broke for us probably, when was it? It was early morning in the UK, so it was what were we last night? Monday evening here.
No,
Am I
Sunday
right?
evening.
Sunday evening here, sorry, yeah. Sunday evening here, it broke. First kind of rumour that these statements were going to be released. What was your initial reaction to it?
Anger. Because I know this has been, you know, this has come up fairly recently with the whole big picture thing. We kind of broke that down and talked about that on here.
Yeah, we had a chat about that months ago, maybe?
Yeah, and we were like, nah, that's not going to happen. But it's the fact that it's the consultation side of it. It's these owners, these 12 owners, 2 in particular, which I want to get into, have decided that for the betterment of the world, betterment of football, without any fans' input, managers' input, players' input, that they are a business.
Does it matter?
And they are businessmen. So we're just going to do businessmen things and screw over people and the everyday person to line the pockets, basically.
Because we spoke about this. What doesn't feel that long ago, really. And I think after we chatted about it, we kind of put it down to the fact that it was a bit of a negotiation tactic on the back of COVID. What happened? The rescue packages that the Premier League had to put together. It was a bit of a negotiation tool to try and get a better deal, I guess, for the bigger clubs. They wanted a bigger slice of the pie because they felt that they were contributing more. They were bringing in more money and more revenue, and therefore they should have, you know, more of the spoils, I suppose. It seemed to go away, and then surfaced on Sunday night here in Australia, Monday morning in the UK, and it surfaced just before, you know, hours before the Liverpool game. And what really, obviously Liverpool lead last night, and what really irked me about that as well is that these owners and we'll use our clubs, I guess, as an example, being 2 of the worst perpetrators here. Liverpool's owners, John Henry, United's owners with the Glazers, still to this point haven't really come out and said anything. They're kind of these faceless beings that make these decisions but never front. You know, they're not there to be questioned. They're not there to defend their own decisions, I suppose. And what they did is leave Klopp last night or this morning to be the one that has to face those questions first, being a fella that he's only just found out about this himself. And 2 years ago maybe now, had already said that he wasn't that he was against the idea of a European Super League. So put him in a position where he obviously had to then, if he'd have not come out and supported it, it'd look like a bit of a hypocrite, wouldn't he? Like, you know. So he's luckily he did. He stuck by his guns and wasn't pressured by the club, the owners. James Milner did the same. We've had some great spokesmen. Gary Neville, fantastic kind of reaction to it, and his emotion and feeling was impeccable. Really, Jamie Carragher, Robbie Savage, I've heard talk. Rio Ferdinand, Roy Keane, have come out and spoken at length against this, and the people who are, advocates of the traditions of the game, especially these northern clubs like Liverpool United. We'll keep using this as an example, but Liverpool, we preach this ethos of all in it together. There's reason behind everything we do. We're for the culture, we're for the fans, we're for the experience, and then for us to be spouting all this, and then your owners behind the scenes are digging their own grave really for the football club. Same with the Glazers as well. For Liverpool as well, the statement to have one of the Glazers' names on it.
Joe Glazer.
It just shows the absolute lack of thought that Liverpool's owners, John Henry, has put into this. In what planet did they think that this was going to go down well anywhere?
Yeah.
It's insane, isn't it? Absolutely insane.
And I'm more annoyed with my club than most. And not because I support Man United, but digging into it more, the two main advocates of this thing is Florentino Perez at Real Madrid and the Glazers and Joe Glazer. It's them two. So Ed Woodward is ex-JP Morgan, the bank. JP Morgan are in on this.
Yeah, they're backers, right? Yeah.
Yes. Woodward, JP Morgan, Glazers, and Florentino Perez, it's them to blame.
Yeah.
They've looked into the NBA. JP Morgan have done some studies on the NBA franchise and how that operates, and they think that these Americans can come and take our national game to franchise it. And it's no wonder Ed Woodward has not been sacked by now by Man United. Because this has obviously been boiling. This has obviously been boiling for the last 3 or 4 years. Yeah,
this doesn't happen overnight, does it? No. This is something that you can copy over a good period of time. This is a little quiet
project that he's been working on his laptop. Because he doesn't do an interview.
No.
You won't hear from Joe Faceless. And now, classic Man United, and not so much Man United, but the Glazers and Woodward and what they're like organising a football club, is to decide to come out of this and without this news now, when the season's not even over.
It's mad, isn't it? And then
what are you talking about?
Well, I think one of the main reasons for that is that there's no fans in the stadium. Imagine what would happen on the weekend if fans were in the stadium. It'd be an uprising of fans that you couldn't ignore. And this might happen anyway, but and they must be aware of this. I mean, they seem obviously clearly don't understand the values of the sport, but these are smart men, these are smart businessmen. They must at least have some conception of what the reaction was going to be, and it's exactly what we would expect. There's absolute uproar, backlash. What happens next, we don't know, but I guess we'll touch on that later. But for people like Woodward, who's been in and around the game for a long time, it just shows this kind of selfishness, not selflessness, selfishness, this greed, this lack of understanding. But at the end of the day, it's that word is greed, isn't it?
Yeah.
What they're doing by creating this league, this Super League, is ensuring that there's no risk for these big clubs to fall out of the competition. They're going to get recurring revenues in the hundreds of millions every year, and it's guaranteed because they can't lose in effect. They're always going to be in this Champions competition, which the broadcasting rights, I assume, will be ridiculous. Well, really lucrative. All the best players are going to play in there, so your club is going to be, able to buy and sell in that top market. No one else will. No one else in the leagues. So you effectively leave the rest of the leagues behind. And what that does, with the greed, comes the lack of competition. Because when there's a lack of competition, the results don't matter as much anymore. There'll be games, even you look at the Leeds game last night now, for Liverpool Leeds, this is before these things even started.
Yeah.
But if you're already saying, oh, well, Liverpool are in this European Super League next year, well, we don't need to make top four then.
Yeah,
So last night, it's fucking pointless.
It doesn't matter.
And you can have games like that every season now where they don't matter. If we're playing, for instance, Barcelona away, midweek game, what are we prioritising? That.
Yeah, exactly.
Or Burnley in the Premier League. And when the game becomes stale like that, things like broadcasting rights like Sky or BT Sport aren't going to want to pay the big money to watch them because no one's fucking interested.
Yeah, I know.
And therefore the knock-on effect of that is there's much less money in the game to be shared out between the rest of the Premier League. The game becomes stale. You can't attract the best players. It's no good anymore.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to watch it.
No.
Your game's dead.
No.
Your game's gone. And I'm even, we're in this competition. Liverpool United are seemingly the ones that we've signed up. Two of the big protagonists of it. Even in this league, that the Super League, which on the face of it, you think, he's glamorized every week. But again, you can win it. Great. But if you don't win it, doesn't matter, does it?
No.
If you do, because you're not going out. You'll be there next year.
Yeah.
You're still going away to these big clubs every year. And I think that although it's lovely to play Barcelona, week in, week out, AC Milan, Inter Milan, whatever, I think the beauty of having the Champions League now is you're not going to play these same clubs every season.
No.
It is a glamour tie because it's like, Real Madrid away. You've not played them in maybe 4 seasons or something. You haven't been drawn against them. That's a glamour tie, and it matters because you don't know if you're going to be in the competition when we're going to play them next. When do we have that chance? Under the floodlights, Anfield, Bernabeu.
That's what makes it special.
That's what makes it really special. That's what the fans watch for. I don't think it's as interesting if I know I'm going to play them again next year. It's not the same. There isn't I used this word last night. There isn't the peril of losing.
Yeah.
Which is where you end up. For us, Australia, you get up at 5 in the morning, 3 in the morning because you can't sleep because you're excited to watch Liverpool play.
Yeah.
You're excited to watch United play because we might lose.
Exactly.
And that, if we lose, it means something.
Yeah.
If we win, it means something. If we lose, it means something. Whether it's good or bad. I don't want to be in a competition where I can't lose it.
No.
What's the fucking point?
I know. And I wouldn't want a club to be as powerful, as strong, as whatever every year.
Yep.
Because that is sport and that's what it's about. Leeds have come back into the Premier League after being years away from the Premier League, and they got relegated the season before for being in a Champions League semi-final.
Yeah.
They've come through it.
Yeah.
Leicester went the other way. They've always been in the doldrums. Leicester City pulled off one of the most amazing things in sport.
Yep.
So I don't want, I was blessed in the Alex Ferguson era of Man United. We won 13 Premier Leagues, and now it's like, can we just get back to the top? But that's what it's about.
Yeah.
That is what it's about. Alex Ferguson couldn't go on forever.
No.
So there's any team, any sport, there's a blip. So if these Americans love the franchise system, and this is where all the business is, and this is what makes sense financially, that's fine. But go and put the money into Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah.
Players.
MLS is a bloody good league.
Tom Brady's your star player.
Yeah.
That's awesome. But you can't own Bruno Fernandes anymore.
Yeah.
If you think the franchise and the LA Rams and all them are good, well, go.
Yeah.
Because our game doesn't want you.
No, we
and
don't.
This is the argument that we always say of they don't know football. This is the prime example to say you don't know football.
It's just a toy to them, isn't
Ed
it?
Woodward, you're not at the top at JP Morgan.
Mm.
You may screw every other bank and screw businesses left, right and centre to get to the top because that's what banks do. That's great. And yeah, all power to you. You're a great businessman. But don't bring it into our game.
Yeah.
It's not a business. It's a football club first.
Yeah.
Business second.
Yeah.
It's a football club. End of. Fans, team, manager, end of. That's what it's about.
I completely agree. I suppose if we're going to have this intelligent conversation, you've got to play devil's advocate.
Yeah.
So why, if you are John Henry, if you're the Glazers, why do this? I know you've said that it's looking at the American, the franchise system.
Yeah.
Do us as fans over the last couple of years, and as this has been going on for a while, and I suppose we've been sailing this river, haven't we? We've been going down this path for a little while. And we now shouldn't be surprised that we've got here, I suppose, because we had the emergence of the Premier League. More and more money comes into the game. Sky, BT Sport, broadcasting rights, more and more money. Champions League, more and more money. We as fans, me included, want Liverpool to have the best players. Mm-hmm. To have the best players, I need owners that can afford to have those players. Yeah. If I want to sign Mbappe this year, I need owners that are willing to spend 100 plus million. Yeah. If you're John Henry, does he look at us now, who are berating this European Super League, and say, yeah, Matt, but we're a business. We invested in you as a club, but we're here to make money. Mm. So if you want the best players, if you want to continue to be the best team in Europe and keep these investments coming, we need a model that sustains that. Mm-hmm. This is it. Mm-hmm. What would you say to that? Because when you put it like that, it all seems fair and reasonable, doesn't it? I think if they were saying, if that's what they're telling me, I'm like, okay, from a business perspective, great. So do we as fans need to change our expectation into, can we have it all? Mm. Or because the game's changes, isn't it? The game constantly changes and develops. Yeah. If we want to continue this way, are we as fans right to demand our owners just keep giving us money, and they have to just cop for it? Yeah. So I can see it from that sense. Yeah. I can understand why. I just don't think this is the way to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
I just don't think this is the way.
There's a huge conflict between having it all, plain sailing. Yes, every fan wants to sign Haaland and get to the top of the mountain.
Of course we do.
And all that. That's great. But the whole premise of sport is you can't have it all.
No.
You see the highest of highs, your Lance Armstrongs, your top athletes fall sooner or later, or there's always someone that takes the mantle or that breaks the record, or whether it's 11 seconds, 100 metre, gets it down to 10.5, to 10, to 9.5. It can never, that's what sport is. So I don't think you can have, for me, the people at the top, if they are in it for purely business, invest in something else.
Yeah.
Because football is about bigger than that. It's about passion. It's about sport. It's about entertainment. That's what it's about. If you want to make loads of money, that's great. Well, Tesla, Google, you go down that route if you want. Hey, if you want to do some Bitcoin, no worries. Do you want to dig for some oil and gold, and go for it. Yeah. Go for it. Glazer's mining company, go for it. Great. Yeah. But you're not bringing that mentality into the game of football. Yeah.
And you know what's mad as well? Even in this new Super League, it's still not an even playing field. Like, no. City is still going to have more money than Liverpool.
Yeah.
Because they've got billionaire-backed owners.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, it takes away our risk. We will still have the guaranteed investment and lucrative broadcast deals, but it's still not an even playing field. Like, City will still be wealthier than us.
Yeah.
So it doesn't change anything in that sense.
Yeah, exactly. And and the big six can break away from England. Yeah. Yeah. Everton still won't get top four.
You're not digging.
Yeah, but no, it's in all seriousness, and it's put the Premier League and Uefa in a really tough spot at the moment, because the easiest thing to do is say United, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, City, Tottenham, you're out of the Premier League, right? We're going to relegate you tomorrow. Okay, that's great. I can guarantee then this league's going to happen. Yeah. Because them six clubs go... So that's...
Well, so
they can't do that.
Well, then the other reason they can't do that is because you take away the biggest and,
Yeah.
You take away those clubs from the Premier League. Again, already the product is not as good. So the broadcasting rights, they're not going to pay as much. Sky aren't going to pay the Premier League to have games on that don't include Liverpool, United, Man City.
Yeah.
So you start the slow decline there.
Yeah.
What I'd say as well, from a club and a business perspective, is there's a massive fear, I think, of missing out. So I don't know who who was in first and who joined later in this 12 that we've got so far.
I'm 95% sure Madrid and Man United started.
Yeah. So let's use maybe Spurs as an example. Imagine the going round of everyone. Everyone's got contacted like, you want to be in this league. Spurs might have said, no, it's not for us really. Like, our fans aren't going to like this. Like, we know it's not going to go down well. The European Super League are going to come to them and say, all right, fuck you then. Spurs, as an owner, Daniel Levy, has to look at that and think, if we don't join this, we are stuck with them. Our club's going to go under. Our club, it's almost that fear of missing out, isn't it?
Yeah.
That you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. In some cases, again, I'm not saying at all I agree with this.
Yeah.
But you've got, from a club perspective, you're either in or you're out, aren't you? Are you in this new Super League? It's happening. It's happening, Daniel Levy. Do you want to be in it, or do you want to be in the rest of the Premier League, who are going to be in this dual competition? You're then never a part of this Champions League again. You've got a chance to choose now.
If you sent the European Super League proposal on email to every 20 chairmen of the Premier League clubs, who would be the first one to reply saying, not interested, thanks? Because you can guarantee, whether it's Tottenham, whether it's Everton, whether it's West Ham, if they was invited to join the table...
You're joining?
Exactly. So they can sit on the high hall, and and I want to stay clear of, I'm not for this.
No, not at all.
The proposition, if it comes to you, there'd be a lot of clubs financially in COVID that would go, what's everybody else said?
Well, and that's exactly right. And it comes down to the, you're down if you do, you're down if you don't.
Yeah.
The fan backlash from this. Imagine we're all against it. I'm against it. You're against it. The fan backlash, though. Imagine if it goes ahead now and Liverpool had said, no, our fans won't be keen on this. Not doing it. 2 years down the line, why are we not in this league here?
Yeah.
Why did we not join that when we had the chance? Look at the state of us now.
Yeah.
We've got no money, no other players. We can't attract any players.
Yeah.
Klopp left.
Yeah, you go down the league.
We're mid-table now. Oh, we might still be one of the best in the Premier League, but it's not that exciting.
Yeah.
Your fans are going to go mad at you then, aren't they?
Yeah.
And it puts just the very idea of it being here, puts everyone in an almost impossible position. And that's not to let the owners off, because I think especially for our clubs, I'm sure they've been two of the protagonists of it.
Yeah.
In terms of they are all for this, they want to do it for their own self-interest.
Yeah.
But you put everybody else in a shit position where they are the hands forced.
Yeah.
They have to join this. They have to join this league. Otherwise, though, it's them and us. You're with the rest of them.
Yeah.
And in 2 years' time, if you had the chance and you didn't, and your fans found out that you didn't, you toast then as well.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really
And this is the problem: is Sky can strike, BT can strike, and go, we're not having a part of it. But this model means they'll get in bed with Amazon, they'll get in bed with ESPN.
They'll have done this. They know there's people there.
They know there's someone.
Yeah.
The research. They know that there's a TV station out there, so that's fine. For every fan that says, "Well, I'm never buying a shirt, I'm never going to a game, I'm never tuning in," that's great. But for what they see it is for everyone that does that, there's probably another one or two that would buy the season ticket, that would buy the shirt, that would do that. So we have to stop this. We've got to be all in it, and this has got to be a players thing, whether it's a refuse to play, whether it's
huge, isn't it?
Whether it's the Carling Cup final, Tottenham and City go, nah, the players go, I refuse to go in out.
Yeah. And that this is the sad part of it now, and the part that it was like keeps you up at night. His little line thinking about it last night is that what happens next is, for me, it's a statement of intent that was released. Shows to me that these owners are going ahead with this. Yeah. They're going to crack on with this. The only way to stop this now, whether it be a legal battle, I don't know who puts that forward, whether it be the Premier League puts it forward to stop this thing happening, or the players and the fans and the managers, the club as a whole, excluding the owners, have to sacrifice. It means me and you can't watch our team anymore. Yeah. It means players, managers can't play for the team anymore. You might have to strike. You might not get paid. This is their living. This is something they've worked all their life for. And now they're going to be forced to make a stand or not. They're going to be forced to make that really difficult choice between, do I want to protect my living Do I want to keep playing the game that I love? Or do I want to get on the side of my fans and what I believe in? And it's going to cause, these fans, and you've got lads and dads and mums, sisters, daughters, everyone who go to the games together. Some of them, it's a family activity, isn't it? Yeah. Some of them, it's their life. They've done this from the grandfather, the dad, and now they're taking their children to the game. And what you're going to ask them to do is, you can't go anymore because you've got to make a stand against this. Yeah. Because that's the way it's going to go. Yeah. For us, we're out here in Australia. We're not going to the game every week, but we're up 3 in the morning, 5 in the morning to watch the game. It's been a big part of my life. I'm 30 years old. Yeah. As long as I can remember, I've been a Liverpool fan. I'm watching the game every week. Yeah. If that's not there anymore, it's just heartbreaking, isn't it? It's one of the loves of your life. It's a massive part of your life. Same for you for United, and to ask us to have to boycott the thing that we love most to protect it is awful. But it's something that I think you're going to say on here that I'm going to do. I'm not going to watch the game. I'm not going to buy the stuff until our owners have a bit of a rethink, because I think at this point it's the only thing that speaks louder than words is actions, isn't it? Yeah. The action of us doing something that negatively affects our owners and sends that message that we don't stand for this. It's not what my club stands for. It's not what our football culture stands for. It's not what our areas, what our league, what our families stood for. And I'm not having it.
Would this have happened and gone ahead if Alex Ferguson was still in charge of Man United and Arsene Wenger was still in charge of Arsenal? Because I can guarantee both of them, if this was seriously going ahead, both of them would walk. Both of them. Yeah. Alex Ferguson goes, probably at this point he's done a couple more Premier League titles, nothing to prove, ensconced in the club. Yeah. And he says, no.
And that's the thing, you look around and that's the sad thing, isn't it? Yeah. We're going to ask our managers, these people with legacy, your Klopps of the world. Yeah. You're going to ask them to make these really tough decisions.
Which brings me on to what happened with Mourinho.
Really interesting. Yeah.
I think he saw
an opportunity to get out of Tottenham.
Yeah, or I think he has actually. Jose doesn't leave on a week of a cup final.
No.
Jose loves trophies.
Yeah. I hope he's got integrity there, and I hope that's what he's done. And he's gone, I'm being part of this. And Levy's been like, you in here out then, but it's happening. Yeah. And that's what makes you worried about, it going ahead now. Yeah. Because, to sack someone like Mourinho because he's not on board shows that this ship has sailed.
If Tottenham think they are better prepared going in against Manchester City in a cup final this weekend, with no disrespect, than Ryan Mason and Chris Powell in charge rather than Jose Mourinho in the dugout, is massively wrong.
Does it matter? Does it matter anymore?
Well,
doesn't matter, does it?
No.
And that's the sad part. And that's, I hope Mourinho's taking a stand. He was the first. Yeah. He won't be the last.
Yeah. So Klopp's got a lot of power in this. Yeah, Carragher's bang on what he says. If it's Klopp versus the owners and Klopp walks, they will be out the club within, like you did with the old owners, they'll be gone.
Liverpool have done this before and they're good. A lot of our clubs are, but Liverpool are very good at mobilising a fan group. Yeah. Already one of the, I forgot what they're called now. One of the Spirit of Shankly groups that organises the flags on the Kop have asked Liverpool to remove all the flags. They don't want to be a part of that anymore. They've done that, over COVID, and they filled the stadium with the flags and stuff. They've asked them all to be removed. I think this weekend you'll probably see at stadiums up and down the country. And at Leeds last night there was a bit of movement as well. I think you'll see fans coming together to protest outside the stadium, and that's what we need to do. We don't want it to go any further than us not going to games and us not tuning in. Yeah. Because that's the thing. It's not just that you can't go to the game, but you can't watch it. You can't. You've got to show the broadcasters that no one's interested. So the viewing figures have to go down. We have to turn off the football. Yeah. And that's an awful thought.
Yeah, I know.
For it to go away.
I know. And this is why, Klopp can take a stand. Solskjaer has been a puppet for the Glazers since he's took the job. Yeah. Now, as Neville said, he's a man of integrity. A lot of belief in Solskjaer. Will he say anything? Probably not. And they know that they've got Solskjaer because he can't go in and say, I'm not being a part of this. Yeah. But it was his dream to manage Manchester United.
I know.
Solskjaer, if you're not interested, who does not want the Man United job? This is the problem. Allegri has not had a job for a couple of years. They're going to find someone. Likewise, if Tuchel said something at Chelsea, he's not been long enough in the tooth at Chelsea for anyone to care. If Tuchel said yesterday, I don't agree with this, I'm off, Chelsea, knowing them, would probably give Jose a call and go, looking for work, mate.
Yeah.
Chances are. So this is the problem. So it has to come from the players and the fans and the players for me. Your Bruno Fernandes's, your Kevin De Bruyne's, your Mo Salah's, your top players that play for these clubs should be walking into those clubs and ripping up the contract, saying, this is a breach of... I've not signed up for this.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave to join... Bayern Munich ain't in it.
I know, and hats off to them.
It.
Dortmund.
But it stems from, as well, this has been boiling, obviously, for so many years. Yeah, it's blindsided us with the announcement.
Yeah.
But it comes back to the fit and proper person test and putting the right people in charge of these clubs. I know football's a big business. I understand that. But Bayern Munich function with 51% fan ownership. No wonder there's no German
Wouldn't
club.
get it past the border.
I'm not surprised that no German club is not in this.
Yeah.
Because the clubs of integrity and morality.
They listen to the fans. They ask the fans and listen to the fans.
And no fan can have more than 49% ownership. So the problem is, there has to be some sort of legislation that comes in now and says, the owners, you can't own the club outright.
You can't be outright.
You can't be outright. But then what happens then? Because, like Man United, for example, if Man United, and I love Man United, and I am prepared to walk away from Man United because I am not supporting Glazers in this European. I'm more than happy to watch Salford, and I will start again. You know. But the thing is, with the Glazers, is that it's about the money. Like, they wouldn't care. They don't care about that. They don't care. So what is it going to take? What is it going to take for...
Well, what it takes is us diminishing the product.
Yeah, both, yeah.
Which is what players walk, fans walk. Your club's not worth the diddle, is it, without the fans? No one's watching, no one's going to the game.
Yeah.
No one cares. And that's... But it takes it, like you were saying before, the sad fact is, for every genuine match-going legacy fan that goes to the game for United, for Liverpool, for anyone, there's someone around the world that will buy a ticket for fucking £100 and go to the game, and they know that, which is the heartbreaking part, because it's like, well, I'll give up my ticket because I can't stand for this, so I'm not going to buy it.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're but the product dies because they don't love it as much. They don't know the songs. They don't get up at 3 a.m. to watch the footy. Like, it's not the same. It's not the same. Those Champions League nights, those magic nights you have at Old Trafford at Anfield, aren't the same.
It's gone.
With Tom, Dick and Harry who've never been to the game before.
Yeah, exactly. It's
we don't go to the game week in, week out, so it's not me. It's not about... Everyone's got the right to go to the game. But if you take out the soul of the club, which is those match-going fans that do go week in, week out, that have been there for 50 years with a family, that's the heart of the club.
Yeah.
They walk away, the product's not worth diddle. It's not the same.
Exactly. So then you go, right, so in my opinion, that intent of what Man United and Real Madrid have done, and I love Man United, they have to be severely punished for this. You can't relegate them. So what can you do? I fully expect Paris Saint-Germain to be crowned Champions League winners on Friday. And I fully expect the Europa League final to go ahead of Villarreal versus Roma.
Just kick them out of the comps. Not playing them.
And you're off. I know Solskjaer, he was close to your first trophy, but unfortunately upstairs has said, nah. And that's the only thing that they've got is to boot them this year out of the competition. And the problem is this whole domestic and midweek thing. Yeah. What it's going to come to is United aren't going to leave the Premier League. The big clubs don't want to leave the Premier League, but they just want this extra special commercial event.
And the guarantee that they're always in it.
Yeah, the Super Bowl event that you do midweek. Yeah. So there's got to be a change of, if you want that, that can't happen midweek. If you want to do a fancy pre-season tour and it's you're playing for the Audi Cup and you all commercial, that's great. You do it in the off season, or you don't. That's great.
Are you in the Premier League or what? Are you competing in the Premier League or not?
But you have to fall in within the pyramid. And how many players would go, I don't, because me tuning in now from Man United, now, I know it's the owners and it's not the club, but it's hard for me now to tune into Man United because everything that I knew about values, integrity, what Man United was about, makes you question and go, should I really be watching this? Because I don't actually believe.
I don't believe what we're doing. That's
until the Glazers or the owners change, I can't tune in and believe the product if it doesn't sit right with me. It doesn't sit right with me.
No, you're absolutely right, and that's it. I mean, I feel exactly the same about Liverpool, and we've got to be careful to separate the owners from the club.
Yeah, of course.
I love the club, and the owners down the line have done some good things, but they've made some mistakes, and now they've made a fucking almighty mistake, and it's hard to forgive that. There's a moment now.
The damage is done. The trust.
There's a moment where they can save it right now. They can pull out and say, "This was wrong." Even then, they've still gone behind everyone's backs.
Yeah.
The trust, like you said, has gone.
Yeah.
There's no trust there now.
Yeah.
It is the way it is, and I think the owners of all of these clubs, especially the British ones, are about to feel the wrath of the fans. I hope so anyway. I think they're about to feel the backlash of the fans, and they're about to realise, the American owners are about to realise what football means, and that it means more than going the game every week. People will be willing to sacrifice it to save it, or at least save some integrity of it.
Yeah.
And they, like, even with the bigger picture, like you're saying there about the the domestic versus this Super League, what we want, whenever you win, whenever you're doing competition, we've said this before, you got to earn that success.
Yeah.
You want to be Leicester City, who won the league from nowhere one year, and they qualified for Europe. In this scenario, they wouldn't qualify for Europe.
No.
They wouldn't qualify for that elite competition, even if they went on and won the league. And it just disincentivises anybody from fucking trying. Yeah. It's about the journey. It's about this unexpected, this magic story, and that's what sport's about. Sport. And you earn the right to be in. Like Neville said, how dare anyone just expect to be in? Who do you think you are?
Yeah.
European royalty or not? What does European royalty mean? Yeah. European royalty would have been different 30 years ago. Mm-hmm. It would have been a different set of teams in there. Mm-hmm. For teams like Arsenal to call themselves European royalty, to be in this super club thing, it's a joke.
Not won a European Cup.
You've not won a European Cup.
Atletico Madrid not won a European Cup.
Aston Villa have won one, put them in. Notts Forest, they've won more than you, get them in.
Yeah, exactly. Spurs.
Yeah.
Man United's last Champions League win was 2008.
Yeah. We've had
Juventus's long before that.
We've had a bit of success over the last couple of years, but we had a good 10-year spell where we weren't in the thing. Elite.
Yeah.
You earn the right to be elite by what you do right now.
Yeah.
So guaranteeing that you're going to be in it for the next 10, 20, 50 years, you don't earn anything.
Exactly.
Stale. Fans don't want that.
I know.
I'd rather lose and lose with dignity and the value of sport and in competition than win every year because I've got a divine right to think I should win.
Yeah. But how do we get Champions League qualification every year? Sign Bruno Fernandes rather than Bastian Schweinsteiger and Falcao and Di Maria and Alexis Sanchez. Yeah. How's about get it right and sign players? Because it's no secret that if you find the right people and the right hires, you're more likely to win more games. Well, what does that mean? If you win more games, you deserve this.
Well, this is what it is, isn't it? It's the journey. It's being able to be like, fucking, what are we doing here? But knowing that there's a chance that you'll get back. We'll get it right. We'll get it right. We'll get it right in the end. It's coming back from those defeats. Exactly. The magic is Liverpool being 3-0 down against Barcelona, coming back 4-0, Champions League final. Yeah. It's those turnarounds that you got. It's last minute winners.
Yeah.
That mean something.
Yeah.
If this goes away, it just doesn't mean the same. Doesn't mean enough anymore.
Yeah.
And that's what's really sad about it. And that's what we need to. That's what we're making a stand to protect. Those values.
Yeah.
And everything that makes the game the beautiful game. Mm-hmm. That's what we're making a stand on.
Manchester United won a treble in 1999, while Manchester City was in the third tier of English football.
Sean Goater ripping it up.
And now we are second to Manchester City. Now. It happens.
Yeah.
Peaks and troughs. Leeds, we spoke about Leicester, Aston Villa, Nottingham Forest.
Burnley, nearly went out the Football League.
Yeah, Burnley.
They're up there competing now.
Exactly. Everton, now been relegated.
Yeah.
So what? And now what? So what is this elite? What is this? What is it?
Yeah, and I just hate that word.
Is it the 6? Are you saying that these are the 12 most marketable companies?
Effectively,
is that what you're saying?
That's what you're saying.
Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
Well, is it all the 12 with the 12 owners that were willing to do this? We don't know who else has been asked to. We don't know. Exactly. The fans don't know. Nobody knows at this point. But yeah, it does sound like that. This is the 12 most marketable clubs.
Yeah.
Elite is something you earn by being elite and repeating it and striving towards it.
Yeah.
You don't get to you just don't get to say you're elite. Oh, I'm elite. Oh yeah. Yeah. So I do.
And then it's all these things, Glacier Spin, it's going to be so proper. We're going to have the state of the art facilities, the best things in the world. They haven't done one thing to Manchester United at Old Trafford.
Yeah.
Since 2006. Have you seen that stadium? And you go to the stadium, and I've been to the stadium, by the way, and you see lack of paint jobs, lack of, upholding the stadium. But all of a sudden now we're going to be,
I wonder what. This just come to me now. I wonder if they asked Celtic and Rangers.
Well, that's what I mean. This is the most surprising thing, because surely they would have been the first ones to reply.
Yeah.
So they obviously not been invited. But I bet if they're scrabbling round for 5 more teams, like they're saying, they're scrabbling around for 3 more teams, you can guarantee who 2 of them is going to be.
Who?
Celtic and Rangers.
Oh, right, yeah, okay. I thought you were going to do that. Yeah. But
you can't do it now.
No.
Because now the storm sets in and you're gone.
Yeah.
Well, we actually...
don't want to be any part of this.
But
I wouldn't. But again, they've got similar values to Liverpool United. The fans wouldn't stand for it.
They wouldn't stand for it.
I don't want to get the Champions League this way. That's not what we're about.
Would any football fan want... So if you said a West Ham fan or a Burnley fan or whatever, they wouldn't want... If they knew that they was going to win the league and it was scripted in the year 2022... West Ham are going to win the league and such a thing. As much as they want that, but it's about the journey to get there and the sport to get you by surprise and go, we're actually English, we can do this.
Yeah.
We're in a shot to doing this. No one wants a guaranteed lead or a tin pot trophy that means, hey, this was in the script, this is the WWE as opposed to the UFC. What does the champion mean? This was scripted. Yeah. No fan wants that. No. They want to go on the journey of the love, the hate, the sadness, the last minute winner. That is sport, and not so much just sport. That is football. Exactly. That is what the game is. Yeah. From Bill Shankly to Alex Ferguson to Matt Busby to Bobby Robson.
Yeah. Like you said, though, it's a game.
The founding fathers.
The game. You win games, you lose games,
and that's life.
And that's fucking that's
life.
Going deep here, but yeah. But it is, and that's the beauty of it is it's a game that you can win or lose on any given day. Yeah. Anything can happen.
Exactly.
It's got to be an even playing field or as close as we can get to an even playing field.
Yeah. So why ruin it?
Why ruin it? To sum up, what do you think happens next? Does this go ahead? Do we find ourselves a couple of months down the line, not in the Premier League, in the European Super League? Do you think it happens now? Are we at a point where the point of no return?
I think nothing will change domestically. I think there'll be a massive change and some sort of... I know they did a Champions League reform, but I think they've got to go back to the drawing board with something that is kind of linked to a financial fair play, because you'd like to think financial fair play probably favours higher earning revenue clubs. So maybe they could put something in there to say... that's kind of what financial fair play was, a kind of already supporting bigger clubs, because you can't just can't just buy Haaland and you go, well, you've got this revenue from.
Yeah, and also you can get away with it as well. City just got away with a slap wrist, didn't they?
PSG
shouldn't be in the Champions League.
No.
Man City really this year.
Yeah, exactly.
Shouldn't be in there.
But then, so
cheated.
I think on Friday, I fully expect Man United in particular to be booted from Europa League, and I think that will go ahead. I think the Champions League will go ahead with none of these clubs. So PSG will get the trophy on Friday because they're the only one's left. League. And it'll be a Villarreal-Roma Europa League final. I don't believe this whole players can't play for the country argument, because again, you're punishing players that have nothing to do with it. You're telling me that Bruno Fernandes can't go and play and Harry Kane and...
Nothing to do with Harry Kane, is it?
No.
Either blame it's the owner's fault, but exactly. And again, we said it before. We're going to ask players to sacrifice.
Yeah. Also,
if you play for this Super League, which is your job, by the way, if you play there, you can't play for your country.
Yeah, exactly.
Fucking why? We're not done. Exactly. What have I done?
So there should be something that happens now to say, you've shown your hand, you know, you've flopped 4 kings, you've shown your hand, well, here's 4 aces. We've just beat your hand, and what is that hand? That is, some legislation now comes in to cripple their ownership and take, I don't know how it works with percentage and taking stake or anything, but now they go, right, and certainly Man United and Real Madrid, you wanted it all, you are going to suffer. Juventus dropped down the league for the whole betting and all that. This is far worse. This is far worse. This is something that you knew was going to cripple people.
Yep.
You knew, and you still went ahead and did it for your own betterment. So you've got to face the law.
So you think that this ends up in the courts? That's how this ends?
And I think United get a heavy fine, some sort of, I don't know how they can work out and boot owners out, but there's got to be something to really.
Well, we got rid of Hicks and Gillette for putting us in financial.
Yeah. So Man United is going to be crippled heavily for this. Real Madrid is going to be crippled heavy for this. What does that mean? Loss of money. Players are going to leave. You know, and we're probably United and Real Madrid. I think they'll end up potentially they're going to have to do some sort of penalty, some sort of points deduction, something.
Yeah.
Something is going to have to happen for them two in particular. Yeah. And then the others go, right, we'll come back to you about what you're getting. Because you're getting something. Because, you know, and this is the global issue. Racism in football.
Yeah.
And different things that are brushed under the carpet.
Yeah, no one kicks up such a sting about that,
exactly.
Do they? We should.
Which, again, and it's an owner or whatever, it's obviously money is the thing there. You know, to stop racism in football, it's obviously not as marketable as the European Super League, so we've not really putting anything in place to do that. So that's pushed under the carpet. And then you factor about into life, and you think all these wealthy people that want more money, by the way, is that they say that to cure world hunger, this is going completely off topic, but to cure world hunger is 3 billion, something like that. And yet, you get 3 billion for coming into this league.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, how's about Glazers?
Yeah.
How's about do some integrity and get, you know...
So you should find them and they have to give the money to something a bit more worthwhile, isn't it? Everyone has to cough up.
Yeah, but I don't know what you can do. What do you think happens?
I don't know. I don't know how it plays out in court. I'd have to go away and do a lot more research about what you can do legally, what their obligations are. What you got to look at is what the Liverpool's, United's, Arsenal's, you know, what their obligation is to the Premier League. By all rights, I think they could, as soon as we join, you can't join another league unless you have permission.
That L9 ruling in the Premier League.
It can kick you out if you go against those rules. So you've got that, but I imagine to stop it going ahead, they'd have to prove in a court that it was going to be financially crippling to the league, and it was on those clubs that have left. I don't know. In terms of what happens, my hope is that this is almost like it's them playing a hand, like you said in poker. This is them. It's a negotiating tactic. They're doing this to force through a better deal for them in the Champions League. I hope that's the case. I don't think it is. I think it's gone too far. I think they've done that before. I think this letter of intent has got real meaning behind it. I don't think the owners and the people behind this, Glazers, John Henry, Perez, I don't think they care. I think they're all in on it. I think they've made the decision to do this, and they're doing it. The only way this stops is by us, the fans, the players, tarnishing the brand. You bring that brand down, unfortunately, and it's not worth anything to the owners anymore. But that's a mess. And it's an awful scenario that I hope it doesn't go that far. But I do think we're going to go ahead here with this Super League. I think it'll happen.
So we need to pick a new sport to watch.
Yeah, I know, yeah. Cricket's all right, isn't it?
I don't know.
I'm pretty good at cornhole.
But that's another thing. Put it into their world. What about if England just come in and go, oh, we like the MLB, baseball, we like that.
Yeah.
That's going to be called cricket now. And you're going to play for 5 days, and guess what, lads? What? World Series? No. It's a draw. You what? You play for 5 days, and it's a draw.
Yeah. Have tuna sandwiches at lunch.
There you go. Oh no, it's too late. Later of intent. No.
Done it, yeah. Bought it.
MLC.
Yeah, we bought it.
Major League Cricket now.
Major League Cricket.
How would Americans feel?
That we've come in and pissed on the bonfire.
Exactly.
Franchise
is great if you've already got a franchise.
Yeah.
And you start but not in a system that's already...
Well, they've got a different system. They've got the draft, the college system,
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff. It's set up to support that.
Yeah.
It's how the game's built. Ours isn't built like that.
Exactly. So stay in your lane.
Yeah.
If you like that, and that's where you earn your money, well, give Tom Brady more money, and he'll win you more Super Bowls. But we don't want you.
Yeah. Man, it's sad. And the next kind of... I don't know how fast this is going to escalate now, but I think by the end of like you said, by the end of the week, we're going to see probably a clearer picture of who stands where and what we do next. So I guess we'll keep on top of it, and we'll chat again soon.
No one's mentioned Guardiola. He's a powerful man.
It's not set out yet, has he?
No.
And that's the thing. You've got to watch these. The people, they need to stand up now.
Yeah. Now is the time to be counted.
Now is the time to be stand up and be counted. Do not hide behind. Well, if you want to be respected in this game and in this fallout, speak now.
Yeah.
Be Jurgen Klopp.
Yeah.
Speak.
Yeah.
Say something. Denounce it. Be Bayern Munich, who've denounced it already. Say something. Don't come late to the party and say, "Oh no, I didn't like it either." When it's all cleared up.
Yeah.
Be first.
Yeah. And it's kind of you need the managers and the players to be united. So if Jurgen Klopp comes in and says, "If I walk, Guardiola walks."
Yeah.
United
front, exactly.
Arteta gets 10-year deal. Like, you've got to be all one. If Kevin De Bruyne says, "I'm off," and so is Bruno Fernandes, and so is Mo Salah, we're all going to Bayern.
Yeah.
That has to happen. The League Cup final, they may say refuse to play, or there's got to be something.
They all know each other. They got Jordan Henderson when they did they raised money and stuff, didn't they? Like, get on the WhatsApp group.
Yeah.
What are we doing here, lads?
Does the Euros go ahead?
Yeah.
Do people go, "I'm not going. I'm not going to my country"? Everyone? Nah.
I'm playing.
Don't do the major tournament until this is sorted in our domestic countries. I can understand it from Spain and Italy because they ain't got no money and it's a crap league. But you've done that yourself through broadcasting and nobody cares because you divvy in the pot to Barcelona, Real Madrid and Atletico and you're still not happy. That's great. So if Spain, Scotland, Italy, then with the two clubs as one, that's great. So you do your own league, but there's nothing wrong with the Premier League and nothing wrong with the English pyramid.
Yeah.
So keep it that way.
It needs to be regulated, but it generally works.
Yeah.
There's obviously a conversation to be had about how we improve it and how it's fair for everyone. Like I said yesterday,
this is not the way.
This is not the way. This isn't the way.
This is completely the opposite way.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for the chat, mate.
Thank you.
We'll go again.
We'll go again.